Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Strange Wonders. As always, I'm your host, Mr. G. Well, since we talked about armadillos last time, let's talk about the other Xenarthrans, or Xenarthranes, or whatever they're called. Whatever. First, let's start with the anteaters. Anteaters are strange little creatures. Well, I shouldn't say little, because the largest anteater, the giant anteater, can be longer than a human. Anyways, native to the Americas, as the name suggests, anteaters have a diet consisting of colonial insects like ants and termites. In order to eat them, anteaters have a long, thin mouth that's able to fit into small spaces and a long, sticky tongue that can grab a lot of ants or termites at once. Like gorillas, anteaters walk with their knuckles instead of flat-handed like other quadrupeds. Also, they carry their babies on their back. Not really relevant, that's just adorable. Alright, now let's talk about another ant-eating mammal that, while not a xenophare, I do not want to give it its own video. So here's the aardvark, or Scepteros afer. Native to pretty much every African country south of the Sahara, the aardvark is not related to anteaters, and despite its name meaning earth pig, it's not related to pigs either. And instead it belongs to the same group as elephants and manatees. Like the anteater, the aardvark possesses a long, sticky tongue that allows it to lap up ants and termites in order to satisfy its belly. And while those bugs make up most of their diet, the aardvark does have one exception to its diet for a fruit known as the aardvark cucumber. See, as a desert animal, aardvarks have to get moisture wherever they can, and this fruit provides it to the aardvark, which in turn defecates its seeds in different areas, spreading the plant around. So in a way, they have a sort of symbiotic relationship. Fittingly, the last animal we're talking about today is the sloth. An arboreal creature native to South America, sloths are among the slowest animals on the planet. In fact, some estimations put them at being slower than most snails. So slow, in fact, that moss actually grows on their back. Now you might be wondering how exactly sloths didn't go extinct long ago, considering their slow speed and lack of armor, like other slow animals like turtles or snails. Well, you see, their slowness actually is a defense mechanism. See, the algae growing on them causes camouflage, and because sloths move so slow, most predators don't even realize they're there. Remember, a lot of predators have a vision-based movement. Not like they can't see if you don't move, but rather they're attracted to movement. But because sloths move so slow, it doesn't register as movement to them, and the algae makes them blend into the background. So, something like a jaguar doesn't even realize it's there. In addition to slow speed, sloths also have slow metabolisms, meaning they rarely need to eat. Plus, like a cow, they have 4 stomachs. Not really relevant, just a fun fact. You know, sloths continue to amaze me. During the Ice Age, sloths were these big, giant animals that almost nothing messed with, and now sloths are slow guys. So what I'm saying is survival of the fittest is complete garbage. The end. You know what time it is? It's time to look at some cards. Alright, the giant anteater's fine, can't really find any errors here. The two-toed sloth is fine. And the aardvark is fine. Now, for human relations, the anteaters are pretty famous animals, although whenever people draw them, they usually put their mouth at the base of their face, even though their mouth is literally at the end of that tube thing. It's both their mouth and their nose. So, yeah. And also, anteaters appeared in The Lion King for some reason, even though it takes place in Africa and they're a South American species. Aardvarks are a bit rarer in media, but there is one big exception, and that would be the Arthur franchise, which the titular character is an aardvark, although rather infamously he looks nothing like one. In fact, in this series, the only design difference between aardvarks and bears is that aardvarks have nose holes, while bears have that pink nose thing that predators have. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I could see why people often mistake him for a mouse or a bear or something like that. As for sloths, you got Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, but he's an extinct species, so he doesn't count, and I already mentioned him in Monsters of the Past. Why did I even bring him up here? I don't know. And you got Zootopia, which featured a scene full of sloths, mostly making fun of the DMV, so yep. Outside of media, these guys are all decently common in zoos, and none of them are super endangered, so that's good. And hey, they're not the most trafficked animal in the world, so that's even better. Well, that's all for this episode of Strange Wonders. My next video, I'll explain why I keep cutting these things off so early. Goodbye.